In this video, we will be learning about method overloading. So, what is method overloading? Consider the word speak. Now, speak varies in different ways. For example, how will baby speak? By crying, right? Babies speak while crying. Similarly, teacher speaks while giving a lecture, and singer speaks by performing a song, and a politician speaks by giving a speech. Now, what is happening? The same word speak is performing a different behavior depending on who does it and what input they are giving. Right? Now, same idea exists in Java where different, that is a same method name which will perform a different behavior. For example, addition. Addition will not only perform addition of only integer numbers, it will perform addition of a decimal numbers, integer numbers, right? And also it will concatenate the strings. Now here on the left side we see a add method is defined in 4 different forms. The first method is defining the addition of 2 integer numbers, right? Now second add method is defining the addition of double numbers. Third method is defining the integer but defining the addition of integer numbers, but it sounds similar to a first method because they look same with respect to a data type, but both are different because they are differing by number of parameters. Here we are defining with 3 parameters and here with 2 parameters, right? And the last method is string add, which is performing the concatenation of both the operands, right? And on the RHS, what we see, a main method is defined with all the 4 addition operators. Here if you see, add is performing the addition of integer numbers. So when the control comes to the first addition method, that is add, the control will directly move on to the first add method where it will add both the integer operands, right? And it will return the number and it will return the value. So the arguments 2 and 3 are passed, which will return 3. Now this 3 is passed to this particular this value, right? That is for the first system.out.println, it will start printing 3, right? And next what you have, add 2.5 and 3.3. Now what happens, since the input what we are given is in a double data type, so the control will search for a method which has a double data type. So here in the second method, addition is defined using double data type and the control directly comes here, right? Now what is 2.5 and 3.5? It is 6. So 6 is returned in turn to this method, and in the console 6 gets printed along with 3, right? And next what you have, add 2, 3 and 4. Here we are passing 3 parameters. Now the control will search for a data type with addition because we are passing the whole numbers, right? And also a 3 parameters, right? Since this will match, it will pass the value here, that is 2, 3, 4 are assigned to a parameters A, B, C, and it will add them, right? So 2 plus 3 is 5, 5 plus 4 is 9. And next what will happen, the last one is a concatenation. Here it is trying to concatenate 2 strings, code and CodeToCareer. So these both are the strings and it will look for a data type with a string. And once it found, it will concatenate both the strings. So how will concatenate? The first string is A. It will concatenate as code plus means addition. So it is combining with this string, that is CodeToCareer, right? So it will concatenate to carrier. So finally in our console, we will be able to see the output as 3, 6, 9 and the last concatenated string. So this is about a method overloading. A method which is performing a same method which is performing a different actions. And few of the common mistakes what most of the students do is, here they will define a method using integer data type and most of the times they won't return this. Instead, if they just write as a plus b, then it doesn't work. Or if you write as print a plus b, then that is wrong. When you are defining a return method, then in such case it's mandatory to return the value. Clear? Similarly, when you are defining a void method, in such case if you try to return anything, then it doesn't return you. It will throw you error. Right? Void doesn't return anything, but when you're defining with a data type, it's for sure that you must return a value to the control, to the main control from which the program begins, right? And one more thing, imagine you have only two methods. For example, the first method is int add, right, with the two parameters, and second method is double int with a two parameters of double data type. Now what I'll do, I'll try to pass this third function, that is 2, 3 and 4. But my question is, I have only two parameters. In both the methods, I have only two parameters, and 2, 3 and 4 belong to a whole number, that is integer data type. That is integer data type. So what will happen in such case? In such case, the compiler will throw an error, because the number of arguments what you are passing here should match with the number of parameters. Here in the main method, like here we have three arguments, but while defining the method, we have defined with only two parameters. In such case, there will be a mismatch. So it will throw you an error. Instead, define the same method varied by a three parameters, right? So in that case, you can assign these three variables to the method. Now let us see how it works. Here, if you see at the bottom, I have defined a main function with a addition with the add method defined by a number of parameters. Initially, it is adding the integer parameters and then followed by a floating, then followed by a decimal numbers, right? And next it is again adding integer parameters, and next it is concatenating two strings. If you notice, at the bottom I have written main, and at the top, it is as soon as I define a class, I have defined this method. So always remember, wherever the main function is, whether it may be at the bottom of the program, or it may be at the topmost code, or it may be even at the middle, the execution will always start with the main function. Just because I have written these methods at the top, it doesn't mean that execution will directly come and land here. That is totally wrong. As soon as it starts debugging, directly it will come to the main function and then execute look for every function within it, right? Now if you notice, add 2, 3 will move to the first method, that is int a and int b, and it is returning the value of a plus b of integer data type. And next what you have, add of 2.5 and 3.5, right? This will return me a double data type by adding the decimal numbers. And next it is add 2, 3, 4. So here it will move on to the third function, which will add a whole numbers, and it will return me the sum of the whole numbers. And the last one is to concatenate the string. That is, two strings are code and two carriers. So it will move on to the last string, which will concatenate and provide the concatenated string. Now let us run this. Yes, here if you see, all the four output are produced. So like whatever statement we have written, everything has been added and provided a sum. For double, it is providing me a number with a decimal, and for integer, it has added all the three digits, and then it is concatenating the string which we have provided. So this is about method overloading. And do not get confused between void method and return method. When you are using return, it's mandatory to specify the type of data type. When you are using void, you can ignore the type of data type and it doesn't return anything. Clear? So we will come up with some more videos in the upcoming series. Till then, keep practicing and subscribe to the channel if you have understood till now whatever I have explained you. Thank you.